Hey y'all. Today's lesson is about writing two-step equations. I'm trying some new software so you can see my face, but then you can also see the paper so you can see me writing. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, I saw some focusing going on. I hope it doesn't do that the whole time. You've practiced solving two-step equations, so now we're going to practice writing two-step equations. The first thing you want to do when you write a two-step equation is you want to define your variable. Defining a variable means it's going to be usually a letter represents a variable, but it's the unknown item or quantity. The unknown item or the quantity. Usually, it's going to be whatever the question is asking. Usually, I wouldn't say every time, but if the question says, how much does something cost, then your variable is going to represent the cost. So clues are to look for the questions to find out what the variable is going to represent. We want to define our variable. You can pick which variable you use. There are common variables like x and y, and then sometimes you might want to use a letter that represents the unknown item or the unknown quantity. And then the other part is we want to look for words that we can translate into math. Things like less than, subtraction, more than, addition, and then the word is usually means equal to. Oh, this focusing is, really going to bother me. But the word is means equal to a lot of times. I'm just going to focus. I'm going to uncheck it. Focus. Okay, so we'll see if that changes. So let's do some examples. Example 1, translate each sentence into an equation and then solve. So we just have phrases written out. They're mathematical equations and they're just written out in words. So 8 less than 3 times a number is negative 23. A lot of times the word is will mean the equal sign, and that's easy to point out. So I'm going to come over here and just go ahead and put is negative 23. And we'll start with 8 less than, and then 3 times a number. Well, a number is going to be your variable. So let's define the variable, and we'll just use the letter x and represents a number. And 8 less than. Now, this sometimes confuses students. It can confuse adults. 8 less than doesn't mean 8 minus. It means 8 less than something. So 8 subtracted from something. So that is going to be minus 8. And it's 8 less than 3 times a number, which is 3x. 3 times a number is 3x. I have my equation, and now I want to solve it. We're going to add 8 to both sides. Whatever you do to the left, you do to the right. Negative 23 plus 8 is negative 15. Then we're going to divide both sides by 3, and x is equal to negative 5. So I have translated it, and then I have solved it. I've written an equation, and then I've solved it. Let's do b together. 13 is 7 more than 1/5 of a number. So again, we're just going to let x equal our number. You could pick N, you could pick W, you could pick A, you could pick whatever. I'm just choosing X. 13 is, so this time we're going to start with 13 equals. If it makes you feel better, you can end with equals 13. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to do it the way it's written. But if you like your answers to be at the end of your equation, then do equals 13. Again, 7 more than, and then 1/5 of a number. 7 more than, so we're talking about plus. And addition is commutative, which means you could do either number could go first or second. But 7 more than technically means some kind of quantity plus 7. Just like 8 less than. And then 1/5 of a number. So the word of in this case means multiply. So we're taking 1/5 of a number. So here is my equation. 13 equals 1/5 x plus 7. To solve it, I would subtract 7 on both sides. 13 minus 7 is 6 equals 1/5 x. And whenever you have a fractional coefficient, it's a rational coefficient, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. That way it's going to multiply and cancel. And then 5 over 1 times 6 over 1 is 30. So x equals 30 for example 2. Is there any way, Julia, to know how long I've been recording?
Yes. You can check the link.
Okay, sorry. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay. Example 2. Now we're going to get into some word problems. You buy 3 books that each cost the same amount and a magazine, all for $55.99. You know that the magazine cost $1.99. Write and solve an equation for how much. Write and solve an equation for how much does each book cost. How much each book costs. Cross out that does. Not necessary. So again, we're going to define our variable, and I told you to look at the question. So how much each book costs. So I'm just going to use B is for the cost of each book, because that's what our question is. How much does each book cost? So our variable is the cost of a book. And I see my answer is $55.99. Sometimes it's going to be really easy to just see your answer, to see like how much money you've spent, to see your total. You've bought 3 books and a magazine for $1.99. Now we know how much the magazine cost. It cost $1.99. And 3 books is going to be with our variable. All of that cost $55.99. So I have my 2-step equation. And then I'm going to work like we've been doing. You've already practiced solving 2-step equations. I'm going to work to solve this by subtracting $1.99 from each side. And then I'm left with 3B equals $54.99. Oh, no, $54 because the 99's, sorry. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 3, 54 divided by 3. If you don't know that, then do it out on your paper. No shame in that game. And the answer is B equals 18. But because we have a word problem, we want to make sure our answer makes sense. And so in this, it's the cost of a book. So it's $18 per book, which is totally normal for books to cost almost $20, especially if it's a hardback. All right, example 3. A personal trainer buys a weight bench for $500 and W weights for $24.99. The total cost... Okay, sorry, I'm going to have to switch it up because I just realized I changed that one. Okay, you have the right one. You have the right one. Weights for $24 each. The total cost of the purchase was $836. How many weights were purchased? Write and solve an equation. So we're going to define our variable, and it already told us weights. W stands for how many weights, not the cost, but the number of weights. We always want to define our variable. It just helps us keep organized, and it lets us know what we're talking about. Find the answer. Find the total. How much money did a personal trainer spend? And it's right here. Total cost of $836. Now, he bought 2 things. He bought a weight bench, and then he bought weights. So maybe more than 2 things, but two things we're talking about. He bought a weight bench for $500, and he bought weights for $24 each. And so that's going to be $24 times the number of weights he bought, so 24W. There's my 2-step equation, so now I can solve by subtracting my constant from each side, $500. 836 minus 500 is 336. I'm going to divide both sides by 24. Sorry, I'm running out of room. So come over here and we're going to divide. 24 will go into 33 one time. Hopefully your division is faster than mine. 33 minus 24 is 9. 24 into 96 is probably 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So 14. And because it's a word problem, we want to make sure our answer makes sense. So he bought 14 weights. Personal trainer bought 14 weights. Not $14 because they cost $24 each. The question is how many did he purchase? And he purchased 14. Probably 7 sets because weights usually come in pairs. But okay, example 4. I'm just going to check my time. Okay. Your friend's lunch cost $19. Your lunch cost $3 more than your friend's. How much was your friend's lunch? So we want to define our variable. How much was your friend's lunch? So I'm just going to use F, and it was the cost of your friend's lunch. Now, I write fast. I get it. So if you need to pause it, then you pause it. F is the cost of your friend's lunch. How much did y'all spend together? Well, y'all spent $19 together. And this one can be a little tricky. You and your friend both each bought food. Your lunch cost $3 more. And this is where translating. If your friend's lunch cost F, we know we're going to add together me and my friend, right? So it might help you if you write this on the side. My friend's food cost F. That's how much it cost, F, because I said F stands for the cost of my friend. Your lunch costs $3 more than your friend's. So my lunch cost my friend plus 3 because it says it costs $3 more than your friend's. And we want to use the same variable. It doesn't make sense to use two different variables right now. So we want to keep using F. And the total was $19. So I need to add these together, F plus 3. F plus F plus 3. I can combine like terms and get 2F plus 3 equals 19. Subtract 3 on both sides and you get 2F equals 16. Divide by 2 on both sides and F equals 8. Let's make sure my answer makes sense. So how much was your friend's lunch? Well, my friend's lunch was $8 that my friend spent. And then if the question said, well, how much did you spend? Then you would say 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, the last one, I want you to try. Okay, you try this one. I want you to pause it and you try it and then watch it and see if you get it correct. You and your friend spent a total of $33 for dinner. Your dinner cost $5 less than your friend's. Write and solve an equation to determine how much you spent for dinner. So I'm going to pick a variable and you could pick D, how much you spent for dinner. So cost of your dinner, not your friend's, but yours. And again, our total of $33, so it's going to be our equals 33. You and a friend, so 2 people went to dinner. So you're adding up you and you're adding up your friend. Well, your cost was D. We already said that. Your cost of your dinner was D. So how much did your friend's dinner cost? And it says in the problem, your dinner cost 5 less than your friend. So if yours was D and yours was 5 less than your friend, does that mean your friend spent more than you or less than you? Hopefully you're thinking more. So your dinner cost 5 less than your friend. So if you spent $10, then hopefully you say, oh, my friend spent 15 because I spent 5 less. So we would need to say D plus 5 for your friend's lunch or dinner. We're going to add both of these. And so how many D's am I going to add? 2. So 2D plus 5. Do you see I have 2 D's plus 5 equals 33. Subtract 5 from both sides. And you get 2D equals 28. Divide by 2. And D equals 14. So now I need to just go back and make sure it answers my question. How much did you spend for dinner? And I spent $14 for dinner. And if I want to double check, my friend spent 5, I spent 5 less. So if I spent 14, my friend spent 19. And if you add those together, you get $33. So we're going to practice more in class. I'm interested in your feedback of how you like seeing my face kind of in the corner, but you also like seeing the paper, or, it's new software and it's nice sometimes to switch things up. So see y'all in class.